What's up, everybody? It's the Digital World Podcast. So we've come down, right? We've come down a little bit from 5.01 to 4.89. So we're still hovering around here. And let me remind you, this is a slow moving trend. We don't just overnight, right, make a move. We've been stuck in this range since October of 2023. That's almost 2 years that we've just been stuck in this range. And you can see that it's been tightening, right? It's been tightening. At some point, I do expect this to move up and go higher, right? As well as we take a little peek here at mortgage rates, U.S. weekly averages as of today. We see 6.72, which is down around 0.03%. Important thing to note, excuse me. I was reading this post and from Darth Powell. I show him on this channel quite often, and he was saying, "What's your house worth if no one can afford it?" And I want you to think about that for a second. What is your house worth if no one can afford it? So, some people are thinking, "Oh man, no, my house is gonna be, it's worth $1 million or whatever." What if no one's buying it? Is it really worth $1 million? Now, I think that's a very interesting concept to break down, right? And you have to really think about it. What is my house actually worth if, yeah, from a, face value, what the market is saying it's worth, but if I don't have any buyers, is it really worth that much? Because no one's really buying it. And if you can't sell it, then can you really get that much money out of it? And I put this into perspective, right? Like, I've been very very vocal about price cuts that I've been seeing in my area. There's houses that have been sold, or I'm sorry, not sold, but houses that have been put up on the market for 650,000, some higher, right? And those houses, sorry, excuse me, those houses have been on the market for a year, if not slightly more. And they've come down about 100 to 150, some 100, some 150,000. And then I go look at the history, right? Some of these houses that are being sold have been owned for a while. Some people have owned these houses when they were 100,000, maybe a little more. So for them, it's like, well, it doesn't matter. I'm in the green. But for some instances, right? For some houses, some people bought them during the peak, right? Um, and in certain areas, right, you could see that 2022 was the peak in most areas. Some people bought it for 475, and now they're selling it for around 650. Price starting to come down. Now it's in the 500s. So where does that leave them? Do they really need to sell? Why are they selling? What's the need? Right? You just bought this house not too long ago, and now you're trying to get out of it. Why? That's the question. And I think the best, well, usually you get the best deals when there's people trying to get out of it out of desperation. Now, people who've owned it for a while, it's like, well, I don't have to sell. I can stay in this house. I've owned it. I'm in the green. Why would I need to get rid of my house? And other people are a little more desperate. So, I mean, there's been a lot of talk about, like you can see here, right? When we look at the great financial crisis, we saw, Fed started cutting rates around this time period, right? And then it became pretty obvious, right, that there was a crisis. And it was brewing all throughout this time period, right? From 2006 to like 2008, you could sense something. Now I would say people have been feeling that something's off with the economy. You can say like 2023 onward, right? And then in 2024, you're like, it's not quite what they say it is. And I think we're teetering on the edge of a crisis, and I think they've held it for as long as they can. And I think it's going to be very, very painful. We have markets that have reached very like all-time highs, right? And there seems to be a disconnect between what markets are doing and versus reality. You got to ask yourself, where does this end? Where does it end, and how does it end? That's the question that needs to be asked. And I think that once we get this break above 5, I think you got to watch out. I think you got to start seeing what's going to happen. How is housing going to react? This goes higher. I think you're going to see a lot of price drops. And I'm telling you right now, what comes between now and next summer is going to be very interesting. We're going to see a lot of things play out, right? Between now and next summer. And so that's when you got to keep your eyes peeled, get ready and be nimble. Be able to be nimble on your feet. So, that being said, let me know. I always like to hear if you guys are seeing stuff in your area. What kind of housing situation are you guys encountering? Any deals? What are the prices? What have they been like versus where are they now? Let me know in the comment section below. Thank you for watching. Like and subscribe to the channel. This is the Digital World Podcast, and I'll see you in the next episode.